Hey there, welcome to One Take, powered by backers.
Right? No judging.
Yeah.
No judging.
And the millennials are really changing that.
Is charm. No.
All success begins with desire.
I feel like I'm on fire right now.
OMG, baby, tell them.
Hey there, welcome to One Take, powered by backers. I am Justin Fox. I'm joined here by Beata, Jirava. Beata, thank you very much for joining me on the show today.
Thank you for having me, Justin. It's a pleasure. Obviously, we'll be sharing something with people that is interesting, intriguing, and hopefully inspiring.
Yes, definitely. And I know we were just joking literally before I clicked record that we just spent the weekend on the fields with our children in various sporting events and tournaments. So why don't we dive into that? Tell us a little bit about yourself, if you will. You're obviously the CEO of the Novel Tech Group, or Breathe to Go. So I'll do a quick intro before you jump in. You're currently raising on backers. You've got a Novel Tech Group currently has an offering that's live on backers. So they obviously people can check that out, learn a little bit more. But why don't we dive into you're an athlete, former world-class track athlete, now turned coach, if you will, or mother coach. And obviously a entrepreneur extraordinaire with several businesses, the clinic, Breathe to Go, among others. So why don't we dive right in? Welcome to the show. Tell us a little bit about Beata. Give us the Coles Notes version of Beata.
Well, thank you, Justin. By the way, what a great opportunity it is to be part of the backers, because I believe as Canadians, we are the solidarity to support each other, and the way what you're offering entrepreneurs, startup companies to use your services is just phenomenal. You have it well thought of, and I'm very happy to be part of it.
Awesome.
My background, originally I'm from Europe, from former Czechoslovakia. I have pretty much been raised more of a soldier, military way, rather, no mercy way. Where you compete and train since you're 6 years old.
Right.
We trained about 4 hours a day, and that kind of led me through a life to be more resilient, more of a self-discipline, self-driven, and just to kind of achieve the goals that just setting your goals and to achieve them. Never give up when you're vision. It's very important, and that's what I say to a lot of people when I do mentoring. It's just don't lose the point. Set yourself where you need to go. If it's driven by passion and is driven by the truth, you can never go wrong, ever.
Right.
So back then, I've competed as a swimmer. I was national, international competitor, won multiple medals, competed with top swimmers like Moravcova. She was world best competitor. As well as then later on, I shifted to track because one of my coaches actually was one of the top javelin thrower in Europe. And Jan Železný, everyone knows Jan Železný. He's world best thrower of javelin, broke many world records, and he's just becoming an icon of that sport. I happened to train with him as well. Got myself to again international, national, competed in many competitions, won many, but that was not the whole idea. Was to kind of represent the country. My obligation, responsibility were to compete to represent the country. So after holding about 10 years of a record for the country, I've ventured and grew a little bit and went to 2 universities at the same time. Again, you have to be selected, chosen, and happened to be that 2 women has been selected to be able to do the 2 universities at the same time. Physical education and sport university, and as well the economic university.
Okay.
That quickly found that, oh my gosh, I can't understand what that little person down there with 300 people in the hall are saying in English, studying economics. So I actually went and advertised my abilities all over the world. Who wants to sponsor me and fund me so I can compete for the country? And I landed in Vancouver.
Okay.
So Vancouver gave me the good opportunities to try to compete. Yet it didn't happen the way I wanted. Government of Canada didn't really support that idea, although SFU wanted it. So I kind of had to finish being an athlete, and just stayed in the country and explore the country a little bit, and started literally working in a coffee shop, working in a bakery, having a place. Actually, there was a time where I was in North Vancouver, pouring rain like as it is today.
It is today. Yeah. Yeah.
And I had $100 in my pocket and nowhere to go.
Right.
And so there's always, Vancouver people are beautiful. They just support each other. So having that kind of beginning and made myself into successful person that has multiple corporations today. I have engineering corporation. We have structural engineering. I also have integrative wellness clinic where actually that grew during the pandemic. We did over 30 therapies and treatments for people recovering from multiple ailments such as mental health support, addictions, all the way to respiratory support and recovery from allergies, asthma, bronchitis, COPD, long COVID recovery, to anything from pains to aches. We have, like I said, we have multiple practitioners in here, and it's phenomenal. This is where I am right now.
Yeah.
And then I started from that point when I saw how things has grown and got better, and we've pretty much advertised based on word of mouth. I found out we have a solution for people, but it's very difficult to get to them sometimes. So I said, okay, why don't we just make it mobile, make a device, and I opened up a research and development company called Novel Tech, and
Right.
that's what Novel Tech is working with you right now,
Mhm.
trying to raise funds
For the Breathe to Go, right? The salt
for the Breathe to
therapy.
Go device.
Yes.
The reason we call it Breathe to Go is because you're literally breathing from the device, and to go means you can take it all over the world. You can take it in a plane, in cruise ships, in a larger events, festivals, weddings, and if you feel like you've been exposed to a lot of people, now you have opportunity to lower the inflammation in your lungs with the device and what it does. So it disperses pure NaCl, pharmaceutically graded salt, in the air in a form of fume. And then the fume is all around you. You breathe it, and it actually lowers the inflammation in your respiratory.
Mhm. So it's interesting that you touched on a lot of things. So let's maybe break it down a little bit. Obviously, yeah, people can check out the Novel Tech Group or the Breathe to Go raise on backers.ca. So check that out. Obviously, if it makes sense. Not financial advice, but maybe Beata will talk a little bit about that. I know we're gonna have a different show, and we've had some yourself and Jody and John on to sort of discuss the product. So maybe for this conversation, let's dive into you as an entrepreneur, as a successful businesswoman that has traversed, it seems, from being an athlete. You mentioned that dedication, that drive. We've talked about this a little off air, of an athlete, and then how that, as many athletes do, they have to hang up the cleats or hang up the equipment and sort of transition into the real world, if you will, or but that's kind of interesting where, you were able to now take that and apply that into your own business ventures. I don't, you don't have to get into specifics, but talk about sort of, I mean, you mentioned you were $100 in your pocket in North End. Like, what were sort of the steps maybe that you take sort of high level that you took over the next, few years to get to really where you are today? I mean, it's been I would assume, many years ago. Like, what's been that sort of evolution, or how has that evolved? What were sort of the steps taken to go from, to where you were then to where you are today in more of a high level, I guess?
So the lowest low is when you had no place to go, and when you
Right.
think the world has no opportunities, is the time when you actually can feel vulnerable. Did I cry? Absolutely. Was it
Right.
pouring rain and I had no place? Absolutely. Did somebody see me and I started to talk to them? Yes. They gave me shelter. I stayed with them for 2 months, but I did not abuse that. I found that as an opportunity, which meant, okay, I started to reach out. Where can I work? I started to work in a, like, I was somebody back in Europe. I was on the news. I was, articles and magazines. And so you kind of had a little bit of credibility. I come
Right.
here and I'm Vancouver and I'm nobody.
Right.
Which is okay, but that's how it builds your character. So interestingly enough, my English wasn't good, and still today, my English is probably not the best.
Well,
But
it's great.
speaking 5 languages, it's okay. I still can
Yeah,
manage a bit
definitely.
around. But at that point, is I just stayed where I was for a couple months, look for another opportunity, started to work from bottom up. That's me from coffee shop to nanny to cleaning the houses, all the way to managing the places. And then, of course, I'm married. I have 3 children, and I raised them such a way that they find opportunities in their life and use their passion for things. So my children are already, a couple of them are grown up. Today, of course, they have universities. They compete in national, internationals as well. I've trained them. I've became also a coach for some athletes at a provincial and national level, which was, I loved it to pieces. I work with UBC. I work with SFU athletes. It's a wonderful thing to do, to be able to give back to community and to get that child from the street and to show them they have opportunity, they have abilities, they can, if they cannot use it based on their brain or the opportunity that they have, let's see, from financial perspective, at least you can perform. So I say, find yourself in the world where you belong, and just nurture it, grow it, don't ever give up. And and that kind of led me to, obviously I raised children for quite a bit, because I've 25-year-old is my oldest son. So it's been around for a while, but that gave me different perspective, and I opened up a engineering company. It's been quite successful. We even designed the main stage for Olympic Games for 2010.
Okay.
Done multiple great projects, and I just started to do a lot of startups. A lot of friends would come to me, and I took the university in here as well. So, and I loved it, and became just a bachelor degree in business. And I just did a lot of startups. So people asked me, contacted me, can you please help me to do startups? And I loved it. I love the creative part of it. And that kind of became part of my DNA. And
Wow.
then during the pandemic, this is when my life really changed, was when the world was saying, stay home, don't go, you are not safe. There's no solution for you. I'm like, okay, well, that doesn't make sense. There must be a solution. So I've explored the opportunities, what I knew back from Europe, what natural caves actually offers for the lungs and protection and prevention. So I said, well, no. There is an opportunity to maintain your lungs healthy. And if you look at the history of the caves in Europe, salt caves, let's see, or mining, how actually doctors are treating patients by sending them to those caves for a couple of weeks for therapies and treatments to recover from asthma, allergies, bronchitis, COPD, and etc. So I said, okay, well, I need to find a wellness that offering a salt cave therapies. There were actually none. Everything was shut down. And as of from March, when the pandemic started, by September, October, we were not allowed to even come to our parking lot, like in a driveway. And that time I found a place, and I asked them, I said, can I just start coming there for my therapies, for keeping my children healthy, because they're also athletes, they need to be able to perform and keep their lungs healthy. She says, no, we are shut down, and Beata, if you want it, you can buy it in 2 weeks. I'm completely shutting down. I said, oh, that's great. Like, I'm so busy, and which is the last thing I want to do is purchase another wellness. But I thought about it. I said, people need it. I'm not going to do it for myself. I'm going to do it for others. So I bought the wellness, purchased it in October.
So this is the wellness clinic. You purchased the wellness clinic. Yes. Okay.
Yeah. And that's when the world was still, many of my friends were telling me I'm crazy. Like, why would you be doing it? No one will even come. First of all, we're all supposed to stay home. I says, that's okay. So I offered it for free for 2 months for everyone who ever needed a support. It grew it grew and people started to come. I had over 200 clients very quickly in a couple months. And I've seen over the years and over the months how people have been recovering. So on that note, that changed my journey. I said, okay, well, this is where we're going, and this is what we need to do for patients. And I was just adamant about to show that that's not true. And that's when I joined Global Wellness Institute Council, World Halotherapy Association. I also was only woman on a pilot project for after COVID recovery, which it was with Canada, England, and US. And we put a pilot project together to see if we can collect some data, primary data for recovering people after long COVID with the soul therapy. So I started to kind of put my little bit of footwork in my many associations, speaking on podcasts, doing meetings with many doctors, scientists, immunologists. And in meanwhile, by now, we actually wrote a book. I'm a co-author of a book, which is the Revolution for the Respiratory. You guys going to see it pretty soon. And with the device, you'll be able to get it as well. And it's a collective data of all primary, secondary, clinical trials all over the world, done completing universities for the respiratory support with the soul therapy. So if I was able to write a book, open up a research and development company, open up an integrative clinic, and still stay successful, it is because of the truth.
Right.
That something works.
Yeah. Tremendous story. I mean, you started at, like, you literally, the Drake song, although maybe not reference Drake, but started from the bottom. Now you're here, right? Over the past number of years. I don't want to say numbers because then that would age both of us, but over a longer period of time. But it definitely gone from the bottom. You raised children, like you said, you were involved in coaching, athletics, academics. Now you're in more recently open the clinic, have the engineering firm, have the novel tech group as well on the health and wellness device kind of research, if you will, and then obviously the clinic and just going against sort of all odds, right? It seems like you've defied the odds all along the way. I'm going to ask a question, and we've sort of talked about this a little bit, I guess, on our calls when we're talking about things around sort of what are your thoughts on sort of the association between an athlete or athletes and entrepreneurship? I mean, we've sort of touched on it, you and I, yeah, exactly, right? They're intertwined with one another. Like, tell the people out there, like, what are your thoughts on, and obviously congrats on all the success, right? And check out their offering on Backers, if you're so inclined, they're definitely some huge opportunity there. So check it out. Not financial advice, but what are your thoughts on athletes and entrepreneurs?
Again, I'm going to note, it doesn't mean that you have to be an athlete to be successful.
Right, of course, yeah.
It certainly helps. It helped me. So I'm going to speak based on my experience. It gave me the perseverance. It gave me the discipline. It gave me the passion. Every athlete has a dream. They have to visualize where they want to end up. Every athlete has to see themselves, okay, I need to win a medal. How will I win it? How will I get there? So
Right.
that's, you train 5 hours a day, every day for a decade to get you to international Olympic games. So that's just kind of perseverance and never giving up. So how is it intertwined? Greatly, because every good entrepreneur starts with a vision. They start with something that is truthful, and you've got to stay authentic.
Right.
You got
Yes.
to be you.
Yeah.
The breaking the odds means that the world must have or might have told you once that that's not the way to do it. But if you know that truly it helps and it makes this world better, and you have more of the innovation and the creativeness in you, utilize it. So I say, being an athlete, it's just you have this energy, you have this passion, and mind you, it again, I'll say it again, doesn't mean you have to be an athlete to be successful,
right.
but I can only speak based on my experience, what it gave me. And stay unique. Don't try to copycat somebody else because it's too much effort, too much work.
Right.
So the product that we are developing right now is we're going to change the world. It's going to change it, and in a sense, we're going to enhance it. Why?
Right.
Why cruise ship has to lose their revenues? Why people have to get sick when they get there? Why airline industries again has to lose their revenues or people who are flying, and or why people need to get sick when somebody's coughing in a plane and then they have a ruined their vacation or the business meeting. It doesn't need to be that way. We have a solutions, and it's portable. It's going to be also medical device. It's going to be supported by FDA certifications, ISO approvals. So that's where we're going with this.
Right.
I wanted to give it to your grandma. I want to give it to your sick child. I want to give it to a child with asthma, with a parent that he's really struggling with COPD. If we know there are solutions in the world, we ought to share them. That's my calling, and that's why I'm going to pursue it. And I would love other people to participate in our journey. And that's kind of why we are here today with backers.
Yeah, no, definitely. Yeah. I think, yeah, the authentic aspect, 100%. The perseverance, I mean, one of our sort of, you've got your vision, your mission, and sort of like the mottos, if you will, of backers is perseverance, right? It's definitely, we talk about the difference between persistence versus perseverance. Persistence is like doing the same thing over and over and over again, kind of like bashing your head against the wall, expecting different results, whereas perseverance is the ability to kind of take what's given to you, adjust, adapt, continually moving forward. So
absolutely, if I can add to it, that was very well said. The entire life that we have on this planet is actually a journey, and it's
exactly.
how we adjust to a change.
Yeah, exactly.
So that's literally it. So if we can adjust to the change with actually enhancing it, enhancing others, and making a better input, a greater input in the world, then I think that's worthwhile.
Yeah, no, exactly. And that's, and like you said, athletes have that experience from having the goal of making the team, winning the championship, achieving whatever that level of greatness is, and persevering throughout, maybe not making the team, maybe coming back the next year or going practice, whatever that sort of roadblock that often gets in your way. And then I think as entrepreneurs, 100%, you have the vision. Many people say no. Many people will try to, stand in your way, if you will, and you have to be able to maneuver and get past them. So I agree. And obviously what you guys are doing with Breathe to Go is impressive. I was at the clinic. There's some, I guess, little bit of footage, a picture of you, Jody, and I at the clinic in the salt cave there maybe a month ago, I guess. So I definitely experienced the treatment to some extent. So that was, and it was great, walked away from there, felt sort of rejuvenated. So why don't you tell us where is, and we're going to have a better sort of in-depth conversation with John and yourself and Jody. And we'll get into sort of updates along the way. Tell us a little bit about, just quickly, maybe before we jump off here, I know you have to go as well. Where is Breathe to Go going? Where are we at now? I think you're days away from having the prototype. I think next time we're on a call, you'll have the prototype in hand. Tell us a little bit of what people can expect with the business. Where are we at right now?
So we actually have this is a fourth prototype.
Right. Yes.
Multiple of them. We have kind of revolutionized and improved it and improved it. And that's because we wanted to make it looking also presentable, functional, IoT support, the way it's being charged. So it's compatible with all the qualification and certification worldwide. So that's why we kind of had to make the changes.
Right.
I think this is our last final one, which we are going to get in hands in the next couple, 3 days. We will be sharing it with you next week. You will see the guys, you'll see how it works. You will have an ability to maybe to touch it. And with that is we started to apply for FDA approval. We have a multiple patent pendings right now. We are actually planning for more. We actually also doing slowly going into the IoT further to work with the phone. So we are working with engineers. We actually were able to get a group of very amazing team. We have a people who initially started to work with us. He actually created and made BlackBerry design.
Okay.
Also have a person who does branding for us. She was participating and helping with Procter and Gamble branding and Lancome branding. She done for larger corporations. So we working with her as well. We working with John Banks. He
Right.
was able to merge AstraZeneca pharmaceutical company. We have a top immunologist who contributed to Nobel Prize in our team. We have people who have been very successful in their life and they believe in what we do. They
Yeah.
actually join this force with us as a team because they want to bring this device to many. So we will, once we have this device in our hands next week, we will still keep raising some funds. We will be needing about first batch 2.5 million, ultimately $12 million in funding altogether. That would be going mostly for the research and development because we also would like to make the device compatible with asthma. So probably we will have a little either salt pockets or we'll have a capsulated, and the capsulated salt, we probably have a medical ingredients in there for the asthma. So we'll be able to be compatible with the environmentally friendly device, which
Mhm.
means is carbon footprint
Right.
and lower. So having the puffs that people are using right now to get opening of their airways is doing a lot of waste in environment.
Right.
It's almost as you would be driving one puff usage. It's almost 200 kilometers of a vehicle driving.
Right.
We will be able to lower it to zero. So we are very cautious with the environment. We want to be able to reuse and just reorder the capsules. It is going to be on subscription model. People will also have their own app. The app will be able to teach them how to breathe, how to measure their breathing, how they're progressing. It's going to be very kind of gamified a little bit. So it's a evolution going forward
Right.
and to try find solutions for the lungs literally. So there's just ongoing process for us.
Right. So it's an ongoing development. Obviously, you're just getting it started. Like you said, I actually did see Jody showed me probably a month ago I guess the version 3 maybe she had it at and sort of showed me that. But yeah, so prototype version 4, sleeker, newer design, some of the other aspects to it. So you'll see it here maybe first. We'll reveal it to the world. I think we've got a plan, and maybe early next week we're going to all be on a call, so hopefully we can reveal that. So stay tuned for that. Yeah, go ahead. Did you want to?
Yes, ultimately our goal is to actually get it, yes, to the airline industry and cruise ships and festivals and events, but for people with have difficulties with respiratory, but pollution as well. So
Right.
in China, there's a lot of pollution, and those people, it's a lot of suffering for them. They have a lot of mucus buildup that they have to disperse it. So we can actually help to improve that, as well as for smokers and athletes. I'm going to work with you, athletes.
Athletes, there you go. There you go. I know also you mentioned China. Also, I think Jody had mentioned some ties to India as well, and some direction there with some of the connections you have there. So lots of fun things. I mean, there's lots of, I guess, applications, if you will, of how it can be used for different use cases as you roll it out and build different aspects of it, and obviously the FDA or Health Canada approvals and things like that as they start to happen. So, and the book, the education, the awareness, all those things around, I guess salt therapy might be sort of the overarching, or respiratory therapy, right? The respiratory revolution. So stay tuned. Obviously, lots of fun things. Beata, I really appreciate you joining me on the show today. I know we'll talk a little bit later on today as well, but and any final words to any aspiring young entrepreneurs out there that you would want to say as sort of before we jump off here?
don't give up your dreams. If it's the truth and it works and has a degree of innovations in there and you feel that that's going to help many, don't give it up. There's always somebody else will support you. Somebody out there will find to say, I really care what you do. I will help you. Because I've done it for so many corporations. I'm also angel investor and I've done a lot of investment and helping and boost the corporations as well. So as much as just go and don't stop. Every step matters, and it's how you adjust to a change.
Yeah, perfect. There you go. Awesome. Beata, thank you very much for joining me. Appreciate it.
Bye.
Awesome. Everyone else, this is One Take powered by Backers. Check it out on backers.ca. Obviously, you can invest in startups on backers.ca. And if you're raising capital and you'd like to raise capital on Backers, also check it out on backers.ca and check out Breathe to Go and the Novel Tuck group there as well. Awesome. Beata, cheers. Bye. We'll talk
Cheers.
soon. Bye. Hey there. Welcome to One Take powered by Backers. Right?
No judging.
Yeah.
No judging.
The millennials are really changing that.
Is charm. No.
All success begins with desire.
I feel like I'm on fire right now.
OMG, baby.